Rod Duff, your host.
And I'm producer Barbie.
And together,
we bring you our podcast,
Insights and Straight Talk. And with that, producer Barbie and I are out. Wow. Here we go again, man. I think I'm going to do a live tomorrow, too. I know it's 4th of July, but a lot going on right now. A lot going on, not just the show. I wanted to come on, another, I call this not necessarily a coffee and tea time, but it is an open mic, an open situation where we get the opportunity to chat with each other and go over any things that we may have questions about in any of the upcoming events. But I also want to talk about something else today. Kind of a really exciting time here. As you all know, I started wrapping up the machinery business. What was it? Probably started about 1.5 years ago-ish, something like that. Canceled my last contracts a couple of months ago. Now running down and living off savings and getting that kind of ready to put together. And the reason is because one, I want to get back to my grandchildren, my family, my kids. Everybody that was out here is now also out there. So I'm living on an island, just protecting the Midwest, holding it firm. And so it's really good that this has the ability to be done anywhere as long as there's power and a stream. Internet and enough power to stream. So like I said, today we're streaming as now always. Hey, thanks guys for popping on. I see some people starting to join. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just getting ready to get into part of the reason I'm late today, which is a good thing. The reason I'm late is a good thing. And the other part is that I've got some really exciting stuff. I know the show is constantly growing and evolving and really kind of tweaking and perfecting its what do you want to say? I wonder what this does. Just curious. Hold on. Bear with me. Nah, it doesn't do anything. That one doesn't do anything. So I have been working for the last couple of weeks. Okay, so here's some more history, right, about Rod Duff, your host. As we've all already talked about before, 3 years ago, actually now Memorial Day, so that would have been like 3 years and a month ago now, right? Something like that. I got into a motorcycle accident. I broke every bone on this side of my body and had to learn how to get dressed, walk, eat, get in and out of bed, get in and out of a car. It took me a long time. Forever with a step, I had a stepper or whatever they call those things. And I couldn't walk upstairs. So about 2 months after the surgery, where I was still recovering, hadn't even started doing rehab, just a little bit of as soon as you have an operation, you need to at least stand up and try and take, and I actually took a couple of steps, and then clock starts ticking. So producer Barbie and I talked a lot about a whole lot of situation at that moment in time, involved in this accident. We lived in a 2-story house, which has since been sold, but there's no way I could go upstairs. And on the first floor, I mean, there's a bathroom, there's an office, living room, kitchen, and then the basement's downstairs. But at the end of the day, there's no way I could live there because I was just starting rehab, and literally for the first couple of first month or so, I did what I could. So what I did is we decided now's the time to kind of evolve our relationship. There's a lot of reasons why, but that also was the right time. And Barbie and I, producer Barbie and I, have never been closer, and all awesome. But for the last 3.5 years or so, thank you. Thanks, Dixon, man. I might do another one tomorrow. So going into that, for the last 3.5 years, well, actually it's going to be 4 now, because the lease is up for renewal. So I either, in the next 2 weeks, and we know this has been coming. So there's been a lot of stuff happening in the background, but yeah. So the office is paid through the end of July. The apartment is paid through the middle of July. And on the very next day, it's either a whole new year lease or, increased in costs as well. But so we really started hammering at this about a month ago, and with everything else. And so the bottom line is, it's not done, but I think I got a place in Oklahoma. We're going to, not yet, I'd say probably, well, I mean, it could be as soon as a couple of weeks, because I can't give all the details, but I might be like living in a home there, a gig, my thing. And Vince's backyard, dogs can run around. It's not the same as the couple of acres across across the parking lot where we have a little doggy run. The lawnmower guy cut through this awesome trees and forest and tall grass. Lawnmower does the guy's big strips of lawn around the building. But he one day he saw us out there. He's a big dog lover. I didn't even talk to him about it. He didn't even mention it. But I was later that day. Take the dogs out. We kind of just do as best we can to get in there. There was a freaking 4-foot path mowed through, and then these little. It's about 2 acres over there. I think it's about. Well, it's probably a little bit more than 2 acres, maybe 3. But so we have like these trails cutting in between and cutting off so we can walk around all these different trails. The dogs have. Boomer just freaking loves it. Daisy's like, okay, cool. But she's a little nervous Nilly. So she's afraid of everything. She'd rather be in the flat grass because it's easier to make sure nobody's sneaking up on her to attack her. All right, so I said it's going to be kind of a shorter show today. Dixon, I appreciate what you put here. Love how you wrapped up this week. What's next on your radar? Well, okay, I should have read that before. I did not go into my little tangent there until next on the radar is we've got a number of people that are working with us on sponsorships, sponsoring both the AI community or along with the coffee and tea times, where we basically focus on the newer events of AI. So we're wrapping those things up into a number of people are doing the early sign up. I'll be posting some information. Just we want to make sure it kind of slow so that we provide the product, the information, the details to the great middle class that you guys deserve, and why we're even here to begin with. So we're right now on the radar is the AI community, learning AI in this kind of format, meaning not this new age talk that everybody, we've got an ability to really get ahead of life instead of being behind it. And the only difference in choice is how much you can utilize AI, because AI will definitely make your life 100%, 1000% better. I send out a lot of information on this through our social media channels. And, in there we talk about don't just survive this time that's coming, thrive in it. And especially we're gearing towards small businesses because of all the things that you're able to do. Look at some of the past episodes and conversations. We've got a playlist of just the Jetsons are coming. That's obviously all about technology. And we've got an industrial playlist where where a lot of our industrial partners who are now talking to us about doing sponsorships and throughout these different episodes, just to kind of keep that word alive. But now here's the thing: I've been asking, subscribe, like this episode. Let's drive this mission forward. But a little selfishly, let's help your host Rod Duff survive moving forward as he wound down his lifelong, not dream. This has been my lifelong dream, but his lifelong work in that machinery business that I built up. But that kept me landlocked. And as grandchildren are starting to get born and kids are growing up and they're creating their own life, all of a sudden I'm 12 at earliest 12 hours away to my oldest son, at least the straight drive, and then 29 hours away. Yeah, I think it's 29 hours away to my older granddaughter, my second oldest son, and then Barbie's about the same as far as distance. They're all in California. She's got two one is the same age as almost. She's a little older than my one in Texas, and then the other one was born a couple days ago. So that energy is drawing me back, and I'm trying I've been for a while. I've been talking to my boys about it, and Brandon and I have talked about it a lot. But over about a month or so ago, started turning up the gear on this thing because you could see what's coming on the horizon. So this might be the chance. I've got just enough to kind of wiggle through, but folks, I really, really do need your support. Pass the word around about the sponsorships. Join our AI class. We've got our community. We've got, which obviously you go over the class and learn a bunch of awesome stuff. The content in there is phenomenal. And you can even tell just by, we've done dozens and dozens of them. And in that Jetsons Are Coming playlist, you can find them. And in each area of, the rumors about AI, the scariness about AI, the scariness about robots, all these different things come out when you don't know what the information is. So we start at the basics of knowing just the things we talked about. And here's why it's not scary. The world is going to be better. In fact, I believe the world's going to cost nothing to live. More on that stuff then. But all of that, there's people now signing up early for the class. They get they get some special gifts and rewards for doing that. But we're really looking forward to building this thing up and being able to have a stable, when I land in Oklahoma, so to speak, I'm driving, but when I land in Oklahoma, on a piece of land that I can once again finally call my own, and shooting distance a little further to the West Coast, that's still about, I think it's 9 or 12. I think it's 9, still 9 hours to get there straight through. But right now it's 29. So, and then right now it's 12 from where I am to Texas. Where I will be is on the border of North Texas. So like a couple hours away, and then 9 hours away. And literally what I want to do is find some sort of a shack, some abandoned thing that doesn't cost anything, because I kind of really need to make sure the show picks it up a step, because we need to be able to keep the lights on and help me get to my kids, man. Help me get back there. I mean, you guys don't owe me anything. I owe you. You and I are family and a community, and we're here about getting through the needs of the great middle class, and being ready ourselves, building up. Let me jump on to Lori Todd here. I don't want to get too far behind. Amazing insights again. Thank you very much. How did you prep for each episode? I'll get to you in a second, Lori. And that's an easy answer. Look, cool little smirk you got on your face on your profile picture there. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, we got 100 and a dozen people here. I appreciate your coming and wanting to hear the story. Please subscribe. Please like each video, each episode. As I said, this is kind of an open discussion, and I appreciate everybody coming on and bringing that ahead. So within these discussions, and I'm going to be jump onto our Facebook Live. Here we stream to Facebook, LinkedIn. We stream to YouTube. We stream to X. So this stream right now going out live, your folks' comments and questions. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Good to see you again, man. I haven't seen you in a couple of days, but good to see you. I appreciate you jumping. But with all this streaming going on, then I take out another 20, 30, whatever minutes and review what we talked about on this show. Basically, driving this information across about AI, about building up yourself, about the ability to get information that we weren't able to get before, that the elites, because of their access and their financial situations, have much more of this needed stuff. You know, I always talk about having a quality of life is more important than have a quantity of life. You know, if you had to choose, the best is have a good long life and complete your journey, experience the things that life is there to offer during that time, including the next generations of your own blood and genes and DNA. That's a quantity of life, and that's a good thing. Leave the earth in peace and rest, and go sit at the right hand of God in heaven, you know, behind the pearly gates, as they say. So then there's the quality of life. And at best, the great middle class leaves a very okay quality of life, basically living paycheck to paycheck, more or less. If not, actually, credit card bills always maxed out, especially depending on the administration, and basically not able ever. So we always the politicians always talk about bringing up the lower class and growing the middle class. And then, of course, the middle class, you always are looking to raise because you want a quality of life for you, but for your family. That's, you know, for me, that's not unusual. Everybody wants their family and their next generations to prosper and have things that you didn't. And one thing we always talk about is have the tools as you're growing up to be able to build on them and become that next better person. So how do I prep for each show? I do a couple of things, but I'm not traditional. This show is not scripted, and never will it be. That's robotic. That's boring as hell. And to learn stuff, the information we bring is brought by professionals, by experts, by the guests that come on. I mean, we've had Emmy-winning award winners multiple times, and you know, different subjects, and I won't break it all down, but we've had people sponsored by Oprah Winfrey about the systems that they're running, and we've had people who serve presidents directly, and then we have civil servants, we have soldiers, we have these people coming on expressing ways to satisfy this part of the needs within these people within the great middle class. And in doing that, part of some of the experts we have on is how to bring you to a level that you're worthy of better things. Let's face it, the middle class gets ignored a lot. There's no doubt about the hamstring that the middle class is constantly working under because of regulations and this and that. But there's also different levels of success still within that same grouping. The middle class is not the middle class. The middle class is a range of fiscal situations, of economic situations, of mental situations, of happy, of family. Let's keep it broad brush because it's complex, but it's levels, complexity everywhere. But the answer, the definition, the description, the mind can see a very simply broad brush that. It still gives us the answer we need to. We're not digging into that today at this moment. We're just saying, hey, we need to work on ourselves to make ourselves better people. And what that does is it makes that alone makes the middle class stronger. We need to communicate with each other. That alone makes the middle class stronger. But then we get back to the point of we need to those things right there are the ways to be able to take back our government as the founding fathers set up for us that we haven't honored, to be honest with you. And I don't care if you like them or not. They weren't all great people, and they were all elites. But you know what? I'm not judging them. I'm judging, right? I mean, it's not about that. It's about the documents left here. Why haven't we already? And now that we kind of, I think because of technology passing information around and stuff, I think we have a lot more access to it. So maybe why haven't we done in the past? We have now the capabilities that we never had before in being able to not be manipulated. Now's the time. We don't have any other excuses. When it was just the newspaper giving us information, or telegrams, and and then 3 news channels, ABC, CBS, NBC. You guys remember that? There was a minor, like your local WTX or whatever. I think we had that. Those things you were forced, and then there's libraries. If you really want to dive deep, you have the ability to sort through it, but there's not the same amount of information. So my point being, we don't have the excuse to not be doing that anymore because there's so much access to information. Just not that there's so much access to it, but that information is being discussed and challenged and dug into, and this stupid silly word fact checking has developed for strictly the description word gives an ability to have somebody not believe whatever it is the subject is. So let's use fact checking. We need to have what I like to call watch parties, which is basically this: a bunch of people getting together and saying, hey, listen, and producer Barbie kind of started this on the West Coast with her son, who's a sheriff in San Diego area, and now his growing family. They literally went over bills because out there in that household at one time was uniquely blue and red, let's call it. And so instead of or no, you're wrong. Oh, no, you're wrong. Oh, CNN says that. How, that's the facts. Oh, but Fox says that. That's the fact. instead of that bullshit, they sat down. They had a picnic. I think it was a picnic. Producer Barbie, if you're on, I think it was a picnic. But anyway, they spent a Saturday morning right before the election. And sure, it was about the politicians. But then what they did is they went through and read the proposals that were being proposed, right? You know, those that are on there. And then it gives this little description of what it's going to affect, what money that's involved, if any, which typically there's a lot of money involved one way or the other. But, you know, so they had that watch party and they went through it, and literally there's been some change in some ways that people look at how they vote now out there. This is what we're trying to achieve. So how do I prep? I'm very curious about things, first of all. Very, 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 always have been. And the only gift I guess I could say that provided me is still the ability, only because of effort, to learn at least a little bit about a whole lot of things. I did a lot of traveling. I was just talking to the guy that, hey, check out the new do, huh? I went all the way to skin. I said, I want it to all feel like a baby's butt so I can start from there. I hope that's not a bad thing to say. But again, the image, you get it, right? Oh man, that is that there's no bristles on there. That's just down there. That's skin right there, baby. So I wanted to go back to that. And then I'm going to have him do a little something, try and get into the little Hollywood vibe and try and do a little style anyway on the beard, transitioning into bald. And I will be growing it back. So, but the hair, I only do this once or twice a year. But I had to go to a barber because they have the straight, the old Westerns. They're the only ones licensed to do that. You go to your hairstylist, they can't. And that, I get it. And I wouldn't want to go to somebody who wasn't, because that could get a little tight in certain areas. Basically, it's a switchblade, right? Very sharp one. But so I went and I had it all shaved off today. And you saw before, and producer Barbie's been getting on me about going this look. And now that it's summer, I want to get, a nice little glow all over the dome. So I want to go all the way skin down. I'll probably end up growing it back, not doing much with it, except in the beginning. Now I can use my razor and at least keep it knocked down and probably extend that a month or two. So right around winter coming in, which, by the way, as I alluded to earlier, I may not have the same cold winters that I've been living in for the last great number of years. Yeah, I think this time next month I'm going to be in Arkansas, man. I think so. I think so. It's kind of looking at Oklahoma, Arkansas. Where can I position myself to be within a distance of my grandbabies? And that kind of gets me not in their backyard, which I couldn't do because they're in two different places. What are they, like I said, like 9-ish hours apart, 10 hours apart drive. Arizona, first Oklahoma, then Arizona, New Mexico, then Arizona. Well, actually, you don't even get up to, I don't think you even get up. Yeah, you do, through Arizona and then right into the 10 or the 60. I think it starts the 10, splits the 60 off, and 10 continues on. That's 9 hours away, man. Right now it's 29 straight through, So back to my preparation, a lot of that I just described, how I travel and curious. And so there's been a lot of pre-prep in my whole life, which sounds like I'm making excuses. And okay, if that's what it sounds like. But I hate doing pre-scripted stuff. Like I give speeches quite a bit too, or at least before. I haven't done speeches recently, but I always in my machinery business, there are always like expert telling the audience this, that, and that about a process, about a product's technology, or about what's coming new. And I always, I enjoy speaking. I don't know what I just hit, but something got my finger too big there. I always enjoyed. Oh, I know what I did. Let's go to boop. Lori. I always enjoy speaking. Obviously, I'm what they call my style of sales, of business development, is a relationship. So there's a lot of discussion, and it's not about taking an order. It's not about trying to find the best. Hey, I got the best deal going. It's not. I'm not an order taker. That's one. I would have been horrible at that approach because it would get boring extremely quick. And I'm not an organized person. I'm an excited person. And so, the need to kind of drive your talents with a certain delivery is critical, because you don't not only want to be dissatisfied, but you don't want to add on top of that poor and stupid. I heard a politician the other day with some people commenting about certain things. He goes, life is hard. Life is very difficult. And that's very true. We talked about that a second ago, check by check. And then he goes, but it's really difficult when you're stupid. And that kind of holds true, man. We have to be improving at what we do. And the ability to get information, I've been fortunate enough to be able to have just enough to be able to pull information out of people that really know their stuff. So basically my preparations for each thing coming forward, for each episode, we do 1 or 2 a day. I try not to. I've done 3, and that's tough, man. I could do like 3 of these little things in a day, but guests constantly come on, and and they all pay, so they deserve their time to be in front of you to have your time. And so, these things, not like this is chill, man. This is very cool and chill. But with a guest, I'm constantly working mentally, which is also physically. And I come away from this thing sweating sometimes. And by the way, the air conditioning, oh my God, I actually had to turn it up warmer. I was freezing my ass off this morning. I actually put on some gloves for a little bit because it was like 62 degrees in here, which is great. I like sleeping in very cooler temperature. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but when my parents were living in different parts of the country, I lived here for a while with my dad in another place when I came out for college, and then so I came out, and that was in my late teens. And my dad, and I never thought about this, but I was reminded during the winter, he always cracked the windows open, at least the window in his bedroom. And, it'd be 30 degrees outside or, whatever. But it's funny how that cold, and maybe it's just because I got used to it, but when you're in bed at night, and especially if you don't have somebody to cuddle with, that feeling of coming into the blankets, the big heavy comforter, big fluffy pillows, pull it all together, and then your body heat starts to, be warmed. I don't know about you guys, but that's a really good feeling. I don't know where I'm going with all these tangents, but that episode, each one is pulled together because of all that past experience, and then reading about, they send information. Each guest sends information about, some details that I might want to be able to use to aid in their discussion during our show. So obviously do that, and And then what I really love to, well, I don't love to do it, but it's pretty fun because I use AI to do it, is I have what's called a scraper. I have an assistant that was built, instructed, that assistant is, I have them for breaking links, finding the problems in links in my automation and going out and seeing where it is and saying, I can do this, which will do that, or I can do this, which will do that, and then fixing the link. Each bot or assistant is the newer term, but same thing, is designed in an area with an instruction, a system instruction. That's what built the bot, the assistant. That's what built it. It's now you give it commands and say, I want you to do this, 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 and this. And basically what I do is I have a guest coming. I say, go out into the internet, and you can actually do more than this. I won't get into that topic today, but and I scrape all public information again, and then things like, and you give it instructions. I want you to, what was their last half a dozen posts on any social media? Show me those posts. What company are they associated with? What is that company? What's its what's its strengths, and what is that company's pain points? Dogs are here. You might hear my dogs in a minute. I don't think they realized that was on an episode. Now they're running out here and want to wrestle. So I scrape all that stuff out. I don't, they do. And then it gives me a report of them, their social media stuff. What is so kind of getting a feel for what they're about. And then any websites they have, or any, all those things. And then if they're with a company or their own company, what that little flavor of what that company is, and any information that is a support to the person. So Lori, that's a 40 minute, well, maybe not 40, but that's a 25-30 minute getting to your answer. That's how I prepare. There's no magic formula. Like I said, I don't like doing public speaking so much because it's prepared. You have to go through and point at this chart and know your notes, and just the only way I can get through it, because it's for me far too monotone, because with you there's feedback back and forth. And even the energy today, if you see, is different than when not only you guys, but there's an expert, not only you family, you community. Please subscribe and like the episodes. Subscribe to this channel, please. And I'm going to be doing a TikTok live wrapping this up right after we hang up. But we're on the verge of taking this to another level. And this is not about making an income, but as I say every now and then, really need your support. Really need some of those people that are looking at some of the programs that we have, which is awesome. That that's critical. That's where it all builds from. But there's also people we're in discussions with a couple of different ways to do some sponsorships. I come out of an industrial background. I do a lot of work with the VA, the local Kendall County. So there's some local restaurants, actually there's a couple of local restaurants. There's a cabinet maker. They want us to, do some sponsorships for their local businesses. And, all of that coming together is really helpful. We just need to make sure we can go that next level and be able to not have to worry at night about, where am I going to, I've told you before this little joke. I don't want to have to do this show out from the woods in a tent with a long extension cord to somebody's house over there or something. That wouldn't necessarily be a long-term adventure. So thank you, Lori. I appreciate your question and your comment. Jack, thank you. Great message. What's your biggest July 4th tradition? I'm not that kind of guy. I love giving gifts. Here's an example. Having the flag out, that's a big deal. And enjoying the day of celebration, typically by the pool, and getting a little bit of sunshine for sure is a priority this time. But to counter that, to fill in some color in between the layers of what I just said. I'm not a big holiday tradition, doing this thing person. I mean, I never have been, but with the family, you go through and you enjoy those times and you would never miss them. So you do them. I'm the kind of guy that would rather on Christmas buy, all these gifts that you've heard that they wanted. Well, Santa heard that they wanted. I love giving. It's selfish. I love the feeling of doing that. I don't like the stress of doing it at this particular time. Giving to me has always been something that, okay, this feels good to do. And it's the right thing to do. And my endorphins are going to go up as if not more than your endorphins. Christmas, it's like, I got to get, and whatever the money is, and you're all sorts of stuff. You got to do it, but at the end of the day, it's not my thing. So tradition in that sense of the holidays has never been a real big thing. Decorate, we always do it. Always. Well, I don't do it anymore now. I'm alone, right? I shouldn't say that. I'm not alone, but I live in my own space only shared with a couple of smart ass big old dogs. One's 120, 25. No, he's 128 now. I can put as I'm walking, I can put my hand on his back. And he walks behind me. He's constantly licking my hand, saying, give me another scratch. Walking next to me, he's got this tongue that's freaking this long. It's so gross. And then there's Daisy. I have to go down quite a bit. She's about to his middle of his chest, so it doesn't quite fit. But she's 68 pounds. She's my little one. So with that said, the only thing I worry about on 4th of July now is Boomer, because believe it or not, he does not like. I mean, Daisy could care less. What's that sound? I think she's half deaf and blind too, though. She just acts, or she's just simply off. But Boomer, once it starts, and 4th of July is a couple of days. I'm sure we'll hear stuff tonight, and then I'm sure we'll hear stuff for a couple of days after the 4th. My tradition, everything, every day is a tradition right now, because I have an opportunity of getting back to my grandkids, to get within a shooting arrows distance away. I think it might be a little much to move in their backyard. I have thought about it, but so I'm that's daily tradition right now for me. It's very exciting. I'm very, very happy about being able to be in this moment. Hey, thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see you again. Like I said, I haven't seen you in a little bit, a couple of days. But I notice you guys, man. You guys are family. Let's like this show. Subscribe. Tell all your friends. Send out an email blast for me. Let's put this thing to the next level. Miss Cans, Justina, how are you? Nice smile, beautiful smile. Thank you. I learned something new every episode. grateful for your voice. You know, I have a lot of guests that say that, because there's not, of all the information going out there, it's, hey, I know this thing. I'm gonna give you this information, and here's how it goes. But you know, I mean, think about it. Any show that truly is dedicated to the greatness of the middle class. Think of any show that spends its time bringing this message day in and day out. And I'm not promoting the show or anything like that, but I mean, it's true. Constantly people are telling, you know, especially when you have incredibly intelligent audience members like yourselves, who obviously read what we're talking about in the upcoming episode, instead of, oh, hey, Insights is on, let me go see what they're doing. Pop on for a couple of minutes and I like it or down. Versus people are going in there, they see the advertisements, we send out marketing stuff, you know, and advertising the show, telling a little bit about it. But then there's a detailed description, if you look, in every description of every show. So when they're coming on, I mean, it is what it is. I said, hey, let's wrap up the week. I want to wrap up the week with you. I forgot exactly what it was, very short. 4th of July, a day early. And then I said something in the description of wrapping up the week. I got a lot of cool stuff to tell you. I want to talk to you about a few things. Come and let's just chill and have a good conversation to review all the stuff that we're where we are right now. And the real reason I want to get on is I want to tell you, hey guys, I'm literally, well, I've got one offer accepted, but there's a twinge there. I'm not too excited about. There's a thing, but then there's another one that we just went into, and this one's a little bit more, but I think the layout's better, and it's about the same. It's a little tiny bit closer to my son in California, and just a little tiny bit further away from my son in Texas. But considering where they are, that's actually a good thing. So thank you very much, Justina. I appreciate what you're saying there. It's been a great journey so far. To me, it's just been RJ. That's funny. Happier. See, yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Happy early 4th of July. Happy early 4th of July to you, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Spending a couple of minutes. Now, I'm probably going to jump on tomorrow for a little bit, probably from the apartment. But this time next month, I think I'm going to be doing this show from Oklahoma. You know, we were looking at all the different states across that way, basically starting at the northern border of Texas, all the way over to, say Joshua Tree in California. I'd love to be out there. That's a cool place if any of you know what it is. Every time I go drive the dogs out there to see Austin, we stop along the way, and then we camp out. Me and the dogs camp out at Joshua Tree. It's a pretty cool time. Just the feeling of that place is pretty cool. Jared, thank you. Happy 4th of July. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing up and sharing weekly. Maria, I show up every day. Well, I didn't come yesterday, so maybe not every day. As a matter of fact, I don't see Ronaldo on here, but she kind of got after me. Hey, you got to do a show every day, dude. At least during the week. Got to keep that up. So I jumped on today for because she told me to, and then also because I think a week from now I'm going to be in Oklahoma. No, yeah, probably 2 weeks from now. Not for a visit. I'm going to be an Oklahomian. Ooh, is that a right way to put it? What do you guys call yourself in Oklahoma? What is the college? Rough Riders? Oklahoma. Sooners? No. Anyway, I'm going to be right in that football country in the South, the Bible Belt. That's okay. But I'm also going to be way more exposed to, although Illinois is still, way more exposed to tornadoes, Tornado Alley, kind of right on the edge of Tornado Alley. Missouri, Joplin, you know that famous story. So, that's it, guys. I'm going to jump over and see us on Facebook Live if you'd like. I'm going to spend just a few minutes over there, just keep the flow going and basically talk about what we talked about here. I'm going to talk about on this show, we talked about this. We're going to talk about the amazing audience we have. Like I said, you guys do your homework, man. You're reading look at it right here. I just said, not 10 minutes ago, or whatever it was, happy early 4th of July to you too. That's not somebody who's just jumping on just because he sees something happening. That's somebody who's going, oh, okay, well, let's chit chat with Rod Duff today a little bit. So Jared, I appreciate it. There it is. I mean, unless anybody has anything else to say, I just wanted to kind of get in and vibe up with you a little bit and hope that we have the opportunity to grow with you. I pray and I beg and I provide information as such. And let's all do this together. Come and visit me in Oklahoma. I mean, hell, you can visit me here in Illinois, but I don't think I'm going to be here very much longer. But yeah, I mean, now we're in even more of the heartland. I mean, and we're closer to the equator. Right, that's so the temperatures are a little warmer. Now they do have weather, big time, but so does Illinois. A lot of water out there. Really looking for a place. We'll get into that later. Hey guys, I'm Rod Duff. I'm your host, right here on Insights and Straight Talk, and this is the kind of just chill days that we have to talk about what's important to you guys and what's important for me, what's important to me to share to you guys. And that's what this is all about. This is a family. We're exchanging ideas. We're trading information. We're helping each other out, and we're all doing our thing. But I'm out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out.